organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Ebola. Is the University of Iowa prepared for an outbreak here in Iowa City? Find out next.
And the Senate race, why the whole country's watching Iowa.
And in sports, the Iowa volleyball team earned their first conference victory of the year.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Hannah Thompson.
And I'm Michelle Nago.
University of Iowa students received an email today about how the university is handling the Ebola breakout. Vice President of Student Life Tom Rockland expressed in the email that the university is prepared. In the letter, he told students the UIHC is well equipped and has implemented and tested strict safety protocols that are also used by student health and wellness. Others are planning for general university operations in the remote case in which an Ebola diagnosis has an effect on our current operations. Both the UIHC and Student Health are staying up to date with the CDC and World Health Organization.
UI students gathered on the Pentacrest today to rally against student debt. The campaign to organize graduate students hosted the rally. Protesters want the Board of Regents to place a tuition freeze on the 2015-2016 school year, as well as eliminate administrative fees that students pay. This rally comes after Sally Mason made some comments about lifestyle debt. The State Board of Regents also stated a 1.75% increase in tuition is expected for next year.
And across the Pentacrest from the student debt rally, Students for Life held an event called To Take a Walk in Their Shoes. The student organization wants to raise awareness about abortion in the United States. Nearly 2,000 pairs of infant shoes were laid out on the Pentacrest to symbolize the number of babies aborted in the U.S. each day.
I think it's important that people see this display because it is such a prevalent thing in our society.
Each pair of shoes that we have out here is empty, and unfortunately because of abortion will never be filled.
Students for Life is on campus and focuses on raising awareness of all life issues including abortion, suicide, and sexual assault.
Today is National Sustainability Day, and multiple groups around the UI campus are educating students on how to create a more environmentally friendly world. This week, students can take a survey that calculates how much carbon dioxide they emit into the air. They will also be given energy-saving tips such as turning off the lights, eating local foods, and walking.
Wedge Pizzeria in downtown Iowa City exists no longer. The Iowa City City Council voted 6-0 yesterday to terminate the restaurant's lease early. This comes after owners wanted out of the lease early, which was supposed to end in April 2016. The Wedge has been open in the Ped Mall location for 6 years. It's not clear why the owner decided to close its doors.
The Iowa Senate race is heating up, and despite being an important race, many people still don't turn out to vote. Daily Iowan TV's Katie Stites looked into why the country has their eyes on Iowa's Senate race.
The midterm elections are a time for many Senate races. It will be a close race in Iowa to see which party gets control. Democrats now have it, but Republicans aren't far behind. Iowa is one of a handful of toss-up states that may make the difference for Republicans.
Any one of those 6 or 7 races is going to be important because it could be part of those additional 3 that the Republicans need to gain control of the Senate.
If Republicans win enough Senate seats, they will hold a majority, and with a majority in the House of Representatives as well, President Barack Obama may have to work with their demands.
That might force the president to become more engaged in terms of working with members of Congress to get legislation that they both can agree on.
Iowa City is a little more liberal than many places in Iowa and could make a difference in the close election. One issue Democrats tend to criticize Ernst on is her stance on climate change and abolishing the Environmental Protection Agency.
If the Republicans do take the majority in Senate, then they will be able to, defang it, so to speak.
Hagel says that it is near impossible to abolish a government agency, but that Ernst is open to looking for other options. Reporting from the University of Iowa, I'm Katie Stites, Daily Iowan TV.
Still to come in tonight's Spotlight story, the intricate life of an actor and a student.
And coming up in sports, the Iowa women's soccer team looks to get back on track as they return home. And Hannah, I know that we've been talking how nice it has been these past few weeks, but it's my birthday this weekend, and I'm hoping the weather stays around.
I know, absolutely. It was the perfect fall day today, so hopefully it stays that way. We'll toss it over to Daily Iowan TV's Abby Meyer in the weather studio, who's standing by. Abby?
Well, guys, it looks like the sunshine won't stick around for a few more days, but it will warm up later on this weekend. But it's already been an exciting week for our sky watchers out there, and more fun is on the horizon. If you missed the annual Ornid meteorite shower on Tuesday night, a spooky partial solar eclipse will darken the skies tomorrow around 4:30 p.m. So be sure to head outside and see the eerie image. Tomorrow morning, we may be greeted with a light shower and temperatures starting in the mid-40s, but by mid-afternoon, the clouds will hang around and temperatures will hit the upper 50s. Clouds should clear up just in time for the solar eclipse, and temperatures will hit a high of 58 degrees. Moving into the 7-day forecast, it looks like we won't need our jackets and might even be able to break out the t-shirts. Friday through Sunday looks like lots of sunshine and comfortable temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s. The beginning of next week will cool off a bit, and the chance of rain will make its way back into the forecast, but temperatures will stick around the mid-60s until Tuesday. With the exception of Thursday, be sure to get outside because it looks like nice, warm weather ahead. Thanks, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Abby. And the University of Iowa has selected a development team for the new UI Museum of Art building. H&H Development and Mortensen Inc. will partner and enter negotiation stages in the coming months. The proposed location for the building will be on the intersection of Burlington and Clinton Street, right across from the new music building that is currently being built.
And speaking of arts, the Daily Iowan's Emma McClatchy is standing by to give us a preview of tomorrow's edition of 80 Hours.
Thanks, guys. We have another great edition of 80 Hours coming out this week. Our main story will focus on Gabe's 40th anniversary happening this week. Now, Gabe's is on Washington Street if you've been there. They have concerts going on 6 or 7 days a week, but they also have a pretty rich history. You might not know that Nirvana and John Mayer once performed at Gabe's. We'll have some more info on that history and who's performed there and what the goals are for that business in the future. There's that and more in this week's 80 Hours, so check it out.
Thanks, Emma. Imagine being a full-time student, president of a student organization, and having more than one paid job, and then add being an actor into that schedule. In tonight's Spotlight, I talked to one student actor whose life is a balancing act. Meetings, jobs, schoolwork, and rehearsals. Those are the activities that fill University of Iowa junior Ari Craven's life. Whether it's spending time in the office at his job in the theater building or heading to the stage to rehearse lines, Ari's schedule never stops.
I'm not really sure how my schedule seems to happen because it's quite busy.
Students like Ari spend over 20 hours a week here in the theater building, either on stage rehearsing or in the audience viewing other student work.
It's a lot of work, but somehow I'm able to balance then working in my co-curricular life as well as the other organizations I'm a part of, but then also somehow managing school as well.
Ari began acting during elementary school and hasn't stopped since, leaving him with a passion that will last a lifetime.
I'm still not sure if I want to pursue it performing for the rest of my life, but I know that being a part of theater is something that I will always want to be a part of.
Even though it might be a lot of work, Ari says he's willing to put in the time and effort, all for his love of the theater.
I would say I'm always stressed out, just like any other student at any university, but the love and passion for theater is always there. Of course, there are moments where I'm stressed and tired, but never do I doubt it because I know that at the end of the day, we're going to come up with a product that's really exciting and that at the end of the day, I'm going to be really happy to be a part of.
Hannah Thompson, Daily Iowan TV.
Multiple shots were fired in Canada's capital of Ottawa this morning. Reports say it happened at the Canada War Memorial and Capitol Parliament building. A Canadian soldier guarding a memorial has died. One of the suspected shooters was also killed. The motive behind the shootings is still unknown. President Obama said the United States will be working side by Canada through this time.
There's been a lot happening in Hawkeye athletics this week, Michelle.
And we'll now toss it over to Austin Luce, standing by in the sports studio.
Thanks, ladies. Tonight we catch up with the volleyball team as they hit the halfway point of the 2014 season, as well as find out what it takes to be a real marathon runner. The Iowa volleyball team just received their first Big Ten win over the weekend. Volleyball reporter Zach Mackey has our midseason report.
Iowa volleyball coach Bon Szymanski said at the beginning of the year that he wanted to change the mentality of Iowa volleyball, and change takes some time. Right now the Hawks are 9-10 on the year and are starting to get into a groove, having finally found that right starting lineup.
You know, on the first day of practice, Coach said the starting lineup's not going to be the same on day one as it is, you know, halfway through the season, through the end of the season, and it's just, you know, that's totally true, and every single day in practice and in matches, it's always a competition, you know, for your spot.
Coach Szymanski also got his first win as a head coach here at Iowa over the weekend.
Get our first W in Big Ten play, and for me to get my first coaching win at Carver Hawkeye Arena and in Big Ten play, so it was a pretty special night for us against Northwestern on Saturday.
It really felt amazing. It just felt great. The whole team got the win together and everyone was contributing, and it really was a really great feeling.
There have also been some highlights over the year for this Iowa volleyball team.
The highlight has just been watching our team grow and evolve, and really watching some different players step up into different roles, and this is really a season of discovery for us in so many different ways.
Iowa has 5 home matches still left in their schedule, all 5 of those being against conference opponents, and the women are hoping more W's are in store.
Next half of the season has a lot more W's and a lot of hard work and intensity, and I think now that we got the first W under our belt, we can just keep pushing and moving up from there.
Zach Mackey, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The volleyball team has some big conference contests coming up as they travel to Wisconsin tonight and head to Minnesota on Saturday. Running 26.2 miles is no easy task, and for this week's edition of our What It Takes segment, Daily Iowan TV sports reporter Taylor Mathis met up with an avid marathon runner to take a look at the preparation needed to complete this tall task.
Cushioned tennis shoes, a stopwatch to keep pace, and a positive attitude. These are the essentials that are needed to complete a marathon. With only 1% of the population finishing this 26-mile race, it proves to be a difficult task. I caught up with Gina Sabarbro, a seasoned marathon runner, as she describes what it takes to run a marathon.
My name is Gina Sabarbro. I'm a senior here at the University of Iowa, and I ran over 14 marathons. I think that marathons are one of those things that anybody of any shape, size, age can do, and so that's why I like them. I trained really hard for them. I did my weekly mileage. You know, you do a certain amount of mileage, you stay on the weekends, you do longer runs. So I've tried to average about, I'd say 30 miles a week. I go on my morning runs first thing in the morning. If I wait all day, I don't want to do it. So I wake up, I put on my tennis shoes, I put on my running clothes, and I get out the door. I do stretch before every single morning run. Definitely I focus on the legs. I don't really do a lot of upper body stretching. With the marathon, it makes me keep going past my limits. It makes me continue to push my limits further than I think that I can. And I like the feeling of knowing that I can do something that I'm not sure that I can do. Once that gun goes off and I cross the starting line, I'm in my own zone.
Gina's a great marathon runner because she is always determined. She just keeps going and going and going, and she's positive and upbeat about it, and she will not quit until she is done. Just keeps moving and moving with little bitty goals along the way and gets done.
My favorite song to run to during marathons is the Rocky theme song because it makes me feel like I'm Rocky running up the steps. It's a mental thing more than anything. I think you just need to be positive and believe in yourself because, like I said before, I think anybody can do it. I just think that you have to have the right attitude and just tell yourself that you can make it, and you will. You'll make it to the end if you want it.
This past weekend, Gina completed her 15th marathon in Des Moines and completed it in under 4 hours. Austin, back to you.
That will wrap things up tonight here in the sports studio. Tomorrow we learn about a dominant force in Iowa tennis and also get an inside look at Iowa soccer as they near Big Ten tournament play. But for now, Michelle, Hannah, back to you guys at the desk.
Check out this video of one voter sensing some competition from President Obama at the polls earlier this week.
I really wasn't planning on it. You know, there's an example of a brother just embarrassing you for no reason. Embarrassing. Just for no reason whatsoever. Fortunately, the president was nice about it. You're going to kiss him, give him something to talk about.
Well, that was pretty interesting. I couldn't tell if that guy was serious or what he was doing.
Well, maybe he's just a very protective boyfriend. I don't know. But that's all in tonight's edition of Daily Iowan TV. Make sure to tune in tomorrow at 9 for the latest news.
And stay in the loop online at dailyiowan.com. Thanks for watching and have a great night.